The vast swamp was submerged in silence, where danger always lurked for every weak creature. A small leopard cub accidentally slipped and fell into the thick mud. It struggled desperately, its claws scratching the mud but only sank deeper. Its round eyes opened wide, shining with fear as its body was held tightly by the mud and could not escape. Clinging to a dry branch, it tried to hold on to a fragile ray of hope. Its body trembled, each breath was rapid as if its life force had been exhausted after only a few minutes. A weak sound came from its throat, hoping that someone would hear its cry for help. The cold muddy water gradually rose, making its yellow-spotted fur stick tightly to its skin. Its small tail waved hopelessly, drawing weak waves on the water's surface. Time passed slowly, darkness gradually covered it, but the leopard cub still could not escape the muddy siege. The little heart was beating fast and irregularly, between the thin line between life and death. In the dim moonlight, it still clung to the tree branch, praying for a miracle to save it. Not far away, the mother leopard and the remaining cubs lay in the darkness, looking down at the swamp. The mother leopard's eyes were filled with anxiety, gradually approaching but not daring to dive in. Low growls echoed from her throat, calling and encouraging her cubs to escape the mud. The other 3 cubs huddled together, trembling when they saw their brothers trapped in despair. The mother leopard waited patiently, hoping that her cubs could climb to the shore safely. Time passed heavily, the sun set and rose again, but the situation remained unchanged. A long day passed, the cubs' bodies gradually weakened, no longer having the strength to scream. The mother leopard let out a long roar, her eyes red but still helpless before the swamp engulfed her. The pain was so heavy, the mother leopard looked at her child one last time and then turned to lead the remaining 3 cubs away. Her footsteps were slow, leaving deep marks on the wet sand, carrying with them a heartbreaking pain. The weak cub looked on, its eyes filled with despair as the family's silhouette gradually disappeared. The loneliness was overwhelming, the cub knew it had to fight against imminent death. When darkness fell, the cub still tried to scratch at the mud, finding a fragile hope of survival. It shivered every time the cold water seeped deeper, its body shaking from exhaustion and cold. The second day passed, the thick mud squeezed its small limbs tighter, making it almost immobile. The large eyes gradually became cloudy, its gaze filled with resignation to its cruel fate. The dry tree branch under its feet trembled, only a temporary support in despair. It tried to let out a hoarse cry, but the weak sound disappeared in the quiet space. The small body shook, each heavy breath like a farewell to life. The mud stuck to the body, the stench rising up making the space even more stifling. A flash of memory of the mother's warm embrace made it cry out with a weak growl. The afternoon sky was gray, the clouds gathered signaling rain, making it even more desperate. When night fell again, the cub almost accepted its quiet death. The next morning, a native walked along the edge of the swamp to find dry wood. He stopped when he heard a weak sound like a growl coming from the mud. Approaching, he was shocked to see a small cub clinging tightly to a tree branch. The cub's eyes were red, its look of help seemed to pierce straight into the man's heart. Without hesitation, he picked up a long branch, carefully bringing it down close to the animal. The weak cub tried to claw at the top of the branch, while he pulled it closer to the shore. After a few tense minutes, the leopard was finally pulled out of the thick mud. Its body was trembling, its fur was soaked, its eyes were wide open, still not believing that it had just escaped death. The man gently picked up the leopard and placed it in the old cloth he had brought with him. His heart was beating fast, both from the tension and the joy of saving a life. He gently patted its head, reassuring it while it panted from exhaustion. Looking towards the trail, he decided to carry it to find the nearest ranger station. The journey was not easy, because the nearest ranger station was 10 kilometers away. He wrapped the cub tightly in the cloth, holding it close to his chest to keep it warm. Each step was heavy, but he did not stop, afraid that it would collapse at any moment. The sun was hot, sweat soaked his shirt, his shoulders were tired, but he still persevered and kept going. The leopard occasionally gasped, its eyes closed as if it was fighting a coma. He encouraged himself as he walked, that he had to bring it to safety before it was too late. His shoes were muddy, his feet blistered, but the love in his heart gave him strength. As the sun set in the west, he finally saw the small roof of the ranger station. Hope brightened, he hurriedly walked faster, holding the leopard tightly in his arms. The door of the station opened. The ranger was surprised to see him holding a soaked leopard cub. Without hesitation, the ranger immediately went to help, preparing to take it to the doctor. The ranger named Daniel gently took the leopard from the people's hands, his eyes filled with worry. He quickly called the veterinarian to check it right in the small rescue room. The doctor placed the stethoscope on the small chest, listening to the weak heartbeat. The conclusion was clear: the leopard was severely exhausted, dehydrated and severely weakened. Immediately, it was given N4 and the mud was wiped off its body. Daniel and the doctor took turns caring for it, each drop of milk helping it to gradually recover. For a week, they stayed by its side, not taking their eyes off its every little movement. As each day passed, the leopard cub's eyes gradually brightened, its legs became stronger. The initial weak growls turned into stronger and more confident cries. When its fur was dry and shiny, it was moved to a semi-wild cage to practice adapting. Here, Daniel continued to train it in basic hunting skills. He patiently watched its every move, delighted to see it gradually become independent. After a month, the leopard cub was healthy, agile, and its eyes sparkled with new life. Daniel knew that the time to return it to the wild was approaching. He prepared a plan to bring the leopard back to where it had been trapped. Early in the morning, Daniel and the rangers carried the cub back to the edge of the swamp. The space was quiet, with only the sound of birds chirping and the rustling of the wind in the treetops. He put the leopard on the ground, his eyes following it with nervous anticipation. The cub sniffed, raised its head and looked around as if searching for something familiar. From afar, a low growl sounded. The mother leopard appeared with the remaining 3 cubs. Its eyes were shining brightly, running towards the herd with powerful legs. The mother leopard growled softly, rushing to lick the remaining mud on her cub's body. The affectionate nose touches extended the touching moment of reunion in the deep forest. Daniel stood still, his heart filled with happiness when he saw his family reunited. The mother leopard's eyes turned towards him, like a wordless thank you. Then, the whole herd gently turned into the forest, disappearing among the green foliage. Daniel turned away, carrying with him the memory of a miracle of life in the swamp.